Okay, so in today's lesson I'm going to be doing the reference number method for factorising equations. Now, what you need to know about, we need to factorise the following equations, okay? So what you need to know about factorising equations is, basically you're looking to put them back into their original brackets before they were multiplied out. So in order to do this, we do the following method. We do the reference number method, okay? And the reference number method means you multiply the first number by the last number. And what you get is a reference number of 4. Now, of plus 4. Now, the reference number, you have to break down the reference number into its factors. And when you break it down into its factors, the two factors you choose have to add together to give you the middle number. In this case, the middle number is 5. And what we know is plus 4 plus 1 equals plus 5. And when multiplied together, they give you 4. So that's the correct answer. So what we can do next is we can write down 2x squared plus 4x plus 1x plus 2. Now, what we need to do next is we need to factorize. So we actually have two sets of 2, okay? So two sets of 2 here. And this here is 1x, just to be clear about that. It's going to be plus 1x plus 1x, okay? Now, what we can take out the first 2 is we can take out 4 is divisible by 2, so 2 can come out. And now you're left with, and they both have x in common. So because they both have x in common, you can take out 2x. Check out the signs between the first two terms and you know it's a plus. So what's going to happen here is 2x times x gives you 2x squared. 2x times 2 gives you 4x. Now the next part, the only number we can take out, we can't take out x because it doesn't have a letter in common, but we can take out the number 1. In which case we now have x plus 2. Now you notice that the same bracket comes up twice. This means that this one is the second bracket, and then whatever numbers we didn't use, which happens to be the plus 1 and the 2x, they turn up in the first bracket. 2x plus 1, x plus 2. To check your answer, you can multiply it back out to get to the top. Okay, next part. We're going to get the reference number, and the reference number is going to be plus 28. So reference number of plus 28, purely because 2 multiplied by 14 gives you plus 28. Now we got to break 28 into its factors. 2 and 14, plus 2 and plus 14. However, when they add together, they give you 16, not 11. So we can try 7 and 4. Plus 7 and plus 4. Okay, so we get here is 2x squared plus 7x plus 4x plus 14. It doesn't matter which way you put it. You could have 4x and 7x. You could switch the two of these. You'll still get the same answer, okay? So what we can get here is the following. We can get x, take out x out of the first two, and we get 2x plus 7, okay? And then what we can do then is we can see what we can take out of the second one. Now they're both even numbers, so 4 and 14 are even numbers, so we can take out the number 2. And what's left when you take out 2 from 4x, you get 2x, and then you get plus 7. Now you're in the same position as last time, where the two of these are the unused numbers that go in the first bracket, and the second bracket is the bracket that repeats itself, 2x plus 7. Okay, third question. What we can get here is the reference number is going to be 20, because it's 5 times 4, and that reference number will be 20. Okay, break up 20 into its factors. 20 and 1. 20 multiplied by 1 is 20, but plus 20 and plus 1 together give you 21. So we can break up 5x squared. We can break up the 21x into 20x plus 1x plus 4. And what we can do after this is we can factorize, and we can take out 5. And we can also take out an x because they both have x's in them. So 5x into x plus 4 plus 1 into x plus 4. Now also what we got to do is we just got to circle the ones we're not using. That's the 5x and the 1, which will leave it into 5x plus 1. And then the second part is going to be x plus 4. Okay. Now, next one we're doing is these three here, okay? So we'll start off with 3x squared minus 17x plus 10. We multiply the 3 by the 10 to get the reference number. The reference number is 30. We get its two factors. We can say 6 by 5. We can say 3 by 10. Or 2 by 15. Now remember, when you're doing these questions, you have to use them as sets, okay? So there's three sets here. You can use the blue, the red, or you can use the green. Now you'll notice that the green set will give you the middle number, that is minus 17. But you need it to be minus 2 minus 15. So check it out. Minus 2 multiplied by minus 15 is plus 30. But when added together, it also gives you minus 17x. So what we're going to get here is 3x squared minus 2x minus 15x plus 10. And then we can factorize out x because you have x in common. And that's going to leave 3x minus 2 minus, and what we can factorize out the two of these. Remember, the second bracket has to be the same as the first. So what number goes in here to make, what number should go in, what multiplied by 3x gives you minus 15x, and the answer is minus 5. Minus 5 times 3x minus 15x, minus 5 times minus 2 is plus 10. Then once again our answer is going to be x by x, which gives us x minus 5, and then we're going to have 3x minus 2. Okay, and that will be, that's the answer to that question. Okay, so what we're going to do next is the next question here, which is 5x squared plus 27x minus 18. Now, what we have here is 5x squared plus 27x minus 18. The reference number is 5 multiplied by 18 minus 18, so 5 multiplied by minus 18. Excuse me. 5 multiplied by minus 18 is going to be minus 90. So we have to figure out what factors of minus 90 will work. So just break up 90 into 2 by 45. It's too big, going to be 43 mil. Let's go smaller. 3 and 30. 3 and 30 will work nicely. Now remember, it's a minus number, so one of them has to be minus and one of them has to be plus. So we went plus 30 minus 3. That will give us plus 27x. So once again, the way you write these doesn't matter. It's 3x plus 30x minus 18. See, also what we're doing there is we're changing the 27 into 3 plus 3x, 30x, minus 3x plus 30x. Remember, the minus belongs to as well. Now we're going to factorize. The first two numbers have x's in common, which means we can take out x. Then we're going to be left with, we take x out of 5x, we're going to get 5x. Take x away from 3, you get minus 3. We already know that the second bracket has to be the same. And what we can do now is we need to figure out what times 30x, what multiplied by 5x gives you 30x, and the answer is going to be plus 6. Once again, same system as before. These two numbers go into the first bracket, and the remaining two go into the second bracket, 5x minus 3. Okay, next question. Now, this one here is going to be x squared minus 3x minus 10. Okay, which leaves the reference number as, the reference number is going to be 1 multiplied by minus 10, which is going to give you minus 10. Break up minus 10 into its components, okay? So we can have, more likely going to have 2 and 5. We don't know which one should be minus. It's minus 3x in the middle, so that means minus 5 and plus 2, because plus 2 minus 5 gives you minus 3. Now we're going to break this up, so 1x squared plus 2x minus 5x minus 10. Factorize the first two, and then you're going to get x into x plus 2. Then you know the second bracket also has to be x plus 2. Minus 5x multiplied by what? X multiplied by what gives you minus 5x? The answer has to be minus 5, because minus 5 by x gives you 5x. Then you know your answer is going to be x and minus 5 in one bracket, and then x plus 2 in the second bracket. Okay. Next one after this is we're going to have 12x squared minus 5. 12x squared minus 5. Okay, so what we can do here is we multiply the 12 by the 5 minus 5 to get the reference number. It's going to be a reference number of minus 60. Okay, so that's the reference number of minus 60. Then once we get the reference number of minus 60, what we're going to do is we're going to break it up into its components. So when we break up minus 60 into its components, what we're going to get is the following. We're going to get, we could get 12 and 5. 12 and 5 won't work because when you multiply them together. So let's go with a smaller number, maybe 4 and 15, or 3 and 20. Now we have a choice here. We have 3 different choices: red choice, green choice, or we can have the blue choice. And what we need to do is, we know that's minus 60, so one of them has to be plus and one of them has to be minus. So I'd go for minus 15 plus 4. Alright, so minus 15 plus 4. So this is going to change into minus 15x plus 4x. Okay, then we'll come back with the rubber here. Give this a wee rub out. Okay, so it's going to be minus 15x plus 4x. Okay, so minus 15x plus 4x. 12x squared is still there, and the minus 5 is still here. Let's factorize the first two. We know that 3 can divide into 12 and 15. There goes the 3. Do they have a letter in common? Yes, they have x in common. Now all of a sudden we can factorize here, and we're going to go, okay, what times 3x gives you 12x squared? It's going to be 4x. What times 3x gives you minus 15x? It's going to be minus 5. We know the second bracket has to be the same, and therefore this here, what multiplied by 4x gives you plus 4x, and the answer will be plus 1. And the exact same position as always, the 3x and the 1 go in the first bracket, and the 4x minus 5 goes in the second bracket. Now this question here, we're going to find the reference number. The reference number is minus 15 by 6, which is going to give you minus 90. Then minus 90, break it up into its components or its factors. We can have 3 and 30, which differs by 20. Too big. Let's go bigger again, maybe 6 and 15, or 9 and 10. Now which one of these differs by 1? Okay, so we have a blue choice that differs by 27. We have the red choice that differs by 9, or we have the green choice that differs by 1. And this is the one we're looking for. We're looking for plus 10 and minus 9. Minus 9 plus 10 gives you 1x. So what we can do is we can break up this 1x into minus 9x plus 10x. And then we can rub this out. Maybe a bit bigger here. We can rub this out. And then when we rub this out, we can get this is minus 15. This is going to be 6x squared. Then we can factorize 6 and 9. What's the highest common factor? Is going to be 3. Do they have 2 letters in common? Yes, they do. Take out x. 3x multiplied by what gives you 6x squared? It's 2x. 3x multiplied by what gives you minus 9? 2x minus 3. Now, we can take 5 out of 2 of these, but no letters. And we already know that the second bracket has to be the same. 5 times 2x is 10x. 5 times minus 3 is minus 15. Then our answer must be 3x plus 5, 2x minus 3. Okay. Now, finally, the last one. We're probably going to need a bit more space for this one here. So I'm just going to rub the last answer out. And we'll try and do this one here. Okay. Like so. The reference number is going to be 8 multiplied by 3, which is 24. We're going to break 24 up into its factors. We can go 1 and 24, 2 and 12. Now 2 and 12 does the trick. However, we need minus 14, so minus 2 minus 12 will, when multiplied together, make plus 24. But when you minus them, they also make minus 14. It's exactly what we're looking for, okay? So minus 2 minus 12. So what we're going to do next is we're going to break up this into its components. So this here is going to break up into minus 2x minus 12x plus 3 and 8x squared. Now what we also notice here is that we can take out 2. So 2x into 4x minus 1. Second bracket must be the same. And what 4x multiplied by what gives you minus 12x? It's going to be minus 3. Therefore the answer is 2x minus 3 into 4x minus 1.